Respect is not something you demand, it's something you earn. It comes from living with integrity, discipline, and most importantly, self-respect. These aren't just lofty ideals, they're the foundation upon which true respect is built. Now, if any of these habits are missing from your life, it's time to address them. Let me be brutally honest with you, most people will never respect you, no matter how hard you try. You can work yourself to the bone, bend over backward for others, and still be looked down upon. Why? Because respect isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are and the habits you carry with you every single day. Trust me, I know from personal experience. I had to learn this lesson the hard way. I used to think being nice, agreeable, and always available would earn me respect. I thought if I was everyone's go-to, they'd appreciate me. But in reality, I was just shrinking myself, making myself smaller in the eyes of others. Here's the truth: you will never be respected unless you cut out the behaviors that undermine your worth. I remember being stuck in this vicious cycle, constantly wondering why people didn't take me seriously. I was always the one left behind, always overlooked. It wasn't until I started removing these toxic habits, like constantly making excuses or seeking validation, that things began to change. Respect didn't come overnight. But the moment I stopped caring about pleasing others and started respecting myself, the world around me shifted. You see, respect doesn't come from others, it starts within. If you don't demand more from yourself, no one else will. You have to face the truth and remove these destructive habits from your life once and for all. Only then will you command the respect you truly deserve. Habit 1: always making excuses. Let me be real with you. Making excuses is the fastest way to guarantee you'll never be respected. I know we all do it. You might think your excuse is perfectly legitimate, that it's not your fault something went wrong. Maybe it was the traffic, or your coworker didn't give you the information on time, or life just happened, right? But here's the hard truth: nobody cares about your excuses. People respect results, not reasons. I used to be full of excuses. I'd always show up late, blaming it on traffic or some random event. I thought as long as I had a reason, it was fine. But eventually I noticed something: it didn't matter how valid my excuse was. People started to see me as unreliable. Friends didn't trust me to show up on time, my boss stopped giving me important projects, and even my family suddenly stopped relying on me. I was losing respect left and right, and I couldn't figure out why. The truth is, excuses don't make you look responsible, they make you look weak. They show that you're not in control of your life. And let me tell you, nothing kills respect faster than showing people you're not in control. Whether you're late because you overslept or because of traffic, the end result is the same: you weren't where you were supposed to be. And that's on you. When I finally realized this, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was the problem, not the world around me. I was letting myself off the hook and expecting people to just accept my excuses. Well, let me tell you something that's both freeing and harsh: the world doesn't owe you anything. People respect accountability, not deflection. I remember once, after showing up late again and giving my usual traffic excuse, someone said, "Well, why didn't you leave earlier?" That stung. But you know what? They were right. That's when it clicked for me. Every time I made an excuse, I was essentially saying, I'm not responsible for my own life. How could I expect anyone to respect that? Here's the deep message: excuses aren't just words, they're a mindset. They keep you locked in a victim mentality, always blaming outside factors for your failures. But the moment you take responsibility, everything changes. When I stopped making excuses and started owning my mistakes, something incredible happened. people started to trust me again. It was like they could see the shift in my mindset and they respected me for it. No more excuses. If I messed up, I owned it. If I was late, I apologized without any traffic stories. And here's the thing, people are a lot more forgiving when you don't try to weasel your way out with excuses. They respect someone who says, yeah, that was my bad, I'll do better next time, far more than someone who keeps pointing the finger at circumstances. It's not about perfection, it's about responsibility. The deep takeaway here is this: you have to stop lying to yourself before you can expect others to respect you. Every time you make an excuse, you're reinforcing the idea that you're not in control of your life. And if you don't believe you have control, why should anyone else believe in you? Respect is built on reliability, accountability, and self-respect. If you keep hiding behind excuses, people will see right through it, and you'll never earn the respect you want. So next time you feel an excuse creeping up, catch yourself, take a breath, own the situation, and move forward. It's a hard habit to break, but once you stop making excuses, you'll be surprised how much more respect you'll command from the people around you and from yourself. Habit 2, being lazy. If you're lazy, let me tell you this: nobody will ever respect you. And honestly, they shouldn't. I know that sounds harsh, but it's the truth. You can have all the potential in the world, all the talent, all the change, but if you sit around doing nothing, none of it matters. People don't respect potential, they respect action. And laziness is the ultimate sign of wasted potential. I used to think I could coast by on my talent. I was the kind of person who could get away with doing the bare minimum because I was smart enough to get decent results without really trying. But you know what? No one respected me for that. Sure, people might have said, oh, he's capable, but deep down, they didn't take me seriously. Why? Because laziness isn't a lack of ability. It's a lack of effort. And effort is what earns respect. I remember one specific moment when this hit me hard. I was working on a group project, and everyone had put in the work except me. I figured I could just show up, contribute a little here and there, and let the others handle the bulk of it. But when we presented, everyone's efforts were obvious except mine. The looks I got afterward, the subtle but unmistakable disappointment, made it clear I had lost their respect. I didn't just let them down, I let myself down. It wasn't even about the project, it was about the fact that I wasn't pulling my weight. People could see it and they lost respect for me. Plain and simple. The thing about laziness is that it's incredibly visible. You might think people don't notice when you're slacking off, but they do. They notice when you're not pulling your weight, when you're cutting corners, or when you're avoiding hard work. And the worst part, it's contagious. Laziness drags other people down with you. They stop expecting much from you, and that's the death of respect right there. When people don't expect you to contribute, to work hard, or to push yourself, they stop seeing you as someone valuable. Here's the deep message: laziness is a form of self-sabotage. It's not just about being tired or unmotivated, it's a mindset. On the flip side, when someone walks into a room well-groomed, confident, and put together, it immediately sets a tone of respect. People are naturally inclined to listen to you, trust you, and yes, respect you. I know this might sound harsh, but personal appearance isn't just about vanity, it's about self-respect. It's about showing the world that you value yourself enough to put in the effort, and when you respect yourself, others will follow suit. That's a hard truth I had to learn. After that embarrassing event, one that made me painfully aware of how I was presenting myself, I made a conscious decision to change. I started dressing with intention, paying attention to details like grooming and cleanliness. And let me tell you, The change in how people treated me was almost instant. Suddenly I was being noticed, taken more seriously, and most importantly, I was respecting myself more. The truth is, people will always judge you based on first impressions, whether we like it or not. And those first impressions are heavily influenced by your appearance. If you want respect, you have to look like someone who deserves it. Neglecting your appearance sends a message that you don't care. And if you don't care, neither will anyone else. Habit 3. Setting boundaries. If there's one thing that will make people lose respect for you faster than you can blink, it's ignoring their boundaries. Boundaries are not optional, they are essential. When you dismiss or overlook them, you're telling people that their feelings, space, and comfort don't matter to you. And trust me, that's a surefire way to ensure they'll never respect you. I've learned this lesson the hard way. I used to think that being overly involved in people's lives was a sign of caring. I thought that offering unsolicited advice, pushing my opinion, or constantly checking in was just me being a good friend or concerned colleague. But here's the reality: it was suffocating. And because I didn't understand or respect other people's boundaries, they didn't respect me in return. It was a tough pill to swallow. But once I realized that respecting boundaries is actually a form of respect itself, everything changed. There was a time when I had a close friend who started pulling away from me, and I couldn't figure out why. I'd call her every day, text her about every little thing, and constantly insert myself into her problems. I thought I was helping, but in reality I was crossing boundaries without even realizing it. One day she confronted me and said, "I just need some space." It feels like you don't understand that. Her words hit me like a brick. I had completely ignored her need for boundaries, and in doing so I'd lost her trust and respect. Here's the thing: boundaries aren't barriers, they're healthy limits. They're a way for people to protect their mental, emotional, and physical space. When you ignore someone's boundaries, what you're really saying is, "I don't care about your comfort. I care more about my needs." And let's be honest, who's going to respect someone who operates like that? Let's go deeper for a moment. Ignoring boundaries is not just about being pushy. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of respect. Respect isn't just about being polite or kind. It's about recognizing and honoring someone's autonomy. It's about realizing that people are allowed to have space, to say no, and to set limits without you taking it personally. When you respect someone's boundaries, you're acknowledging that they are their own person with their own needs and limits. And when you can do that, respect naturally follows. I had to learn to step back and let people come to me when they were ready, to give them the space they needed without feeling the need to insert myself into every situation. And here's the funny thing: when I started respecting other people's boundaries, they started respecting me more. Relationships became stronger, more genuine, and I was no longer seen as the person who couldn't take a hint. But ignoring boundaries doesn't just show up in social interactions, it shows up in the workplace too. Maybe you have a coworker who prefers working independently, but you keep pushing them for constant updates or input. Or perhaps you have a boss who values direct communication, but you constantly flood them with unnecessary information, overstepping the boundary of their time. In these situations, you're not just annoying people, you're losing their respect because you're not respecting their time, space, or preferences. Here's the deep truth: boundaries aren't just about keeping people up. They're about keeping relationships healthy. And healthy relationships are built on mutual respect. If you can't respect someone's boundaries, you can't expect them to respect you either. It's a two-way street. By honoring the limits people set, you're showing them that you value their comfort and autonomy. And that's what builds lasting respect. Think about it like this: every time you ignore a boundary, you're chipping away at the trust someone has in you. And without trust, there can be no respect. People will start to avoid you, distance themselves, and silently push you out of their lives because they don't feel safe around you. Boundaries are people's way of protecting themselves, and when you trample over them, you're showing a lack of care for their well-being. So if you want respect, you need to start paying attention to boundaries. Learn to recognize when someone is setting one, whether it's subtle or direct. Don't take it personally. Instead, see it as an opportunity to show them that you respect them as an individual. When you start doing this, you'll find that people will start respecting you more too. They'll trust you, feel safe around you, and value you more because you're someone who understands the importance of personal space and emotional well-being. Habit 4: taking credit for others' work. Taking credit for someone else's work is one of the quickest ways to lose respect, not just from the person whose effort you stole, but from everyone who witnesses it. It's a dishonest, self-serving habit that will make people distrust you. And once that trust is broken, it's incredibly difficult to rebuild. This habit isn't just unethical, it's a surefire way to sabotage your reputation. I've seen this play out firsthand. And I'll be honest, it's something I'm not proud of. Early in my career, I was eager to make a name for myself. In a team project, I contributed a fair amount, but one of my colleagues really went above and beyond. When it came time to present the results, I subtly framed my words to make it seem like I had done more of the heavy lifting than I actually had. I didn't flat out lie, but I made sure the spotlight was on me, not the person who deserved it more. At first it felt great, the praise was rolling in, people were impressed, and I was getting the recognition I craved. But here's the thing, people always find out the truth. It wasn't long before my colleague realized what had happened, and soon enough others did too. The admiration I had basked in quickly turned to skepticism and disappointment. It was a tough lesson. Respect isn't earned through shortcuts. It's earned through integrity, collaboration, and honesty. When you take credit for someone else's work, you're essentially saying, I don't trust my own abilities enough to stand on my own 2 feet. It's a reflection of insecurity, of fear, not strength. If you're constantly looking for shortcuts to success, you'll never truly earn the respect of those around you. Respect is rooted in authenticity, something that credit stealing completely undermines. Think about the long-term damage this habit can do. Once people see you as someone who doesn't give credit where it's due, you become known as someone who's only out for themselves. Colleagues will hesitate to collaborate with you, friends won't trust you, and people will keep you at arm's length because they know you're not playing fair. I've seen talented people lose out on promotions, friendships, and opportunities, all because they developed a reputation for taking credit for others' work. And trust me, once that label sticks, it's hard to shake off. Here's the reality: when you take credit for someone else's efforts, you're not just stealing their work, you're stealing their sense of accomplishment. You're robbing them of the satisfaction that comes from being recognized for their contribution. Imagine how demoralizing that is. We all want to feel valued for our hard work, and when someone takes that away from us, it creates resentment and distrust. In the long run, you're burning bridges you may never be able to rebuild. And let's not forget, taking credit is a form of betrayal. It's telling someone, I see your effort, but I care more about my own success than acknowledging yours. That's a huge breach of trust. And once trust is broken, respect follows. People aren't foolish, they know when someone's trying to hog the spotlight. You might think you're getting away with it, but even if no one calls you out immediately, trust me, they'll remember. This habit chips away at the respect you've worked so hard to build. Before you know it, you'll find yourself isolated and wonder where you went wrong. Now, don't get me twisted, I'm not saying you shouldn't own your contributions. If you've worked hard, put in the effort, and deserve recognition, take it. But there's a balance. Giving credit where it's due doesn't take away from your achievements, it actually amplifies it. Sharing the spotlight doesn't diminish your success, it enhances it. It shows you're secure in your own abilities and generous enough to acknowledge the contributions of others. People respect leaders who elevate others, not those who push others down to get ahead. Here's the truth: success at the expense of someone else's hard work isn't real success, it's hollow. And over time, that will catch up with you. Sure, in the moment, it might feel like you're winning, but in the long run, you're losing. True respect comes from lifting others up, from being someone people can trust and admire, not because you're perfect, but because you're fair, honest, and willing to share the limelight. So how do you fix this if you've been guilty of taking more than your fair share of credit? First, own up to it. If you've taken credit for someone else's work, apologize. Acknowledge their contributions and make it clear that you value their efforts. Moving forward, make a point to always give credit where it's due. Not only will this build trust, but it will also show that you're a person of integrity. And integrity, above all else, is the foundation of respect. In the end, taking credit for someone else's work doesn't make you look strong, it makes you look insecure. It reveals that you care more about the appearance of success than the substance of it. But when you give credit, when you lift others up and celebrate their contributions, you're building a reputation as someone who's confident, fair, and deserving of respect. And that, my friends, is the kind of person people want to follow. Habit 5. Emotional reactivity. Now let's talk about emotional reactivity, a habit that's just as destructive, if not more so. Being emotionally reactive is one of the quickest ways to lose respect. And I'm not just talking about blowing up in a fit of rage. I'm talking about letting your emotions dictate your actions, your words, and your decisions. People notice when you can't control your emotions, and they'll never trust you with leadership, responsibility, or even a deep friendship. Why? Because emotional reactivity signals instability, unpredictability, and immaturity. Believe me, I've been there. There was a time in my life when I let my emotions control me. If something upset me, I'd either lash out or shut down. If someone criticized me, I'd get defensive, raising my voice or storming off. Looking back, it's embarrassing. I thought I was standing up for myself, but really I was showing everyone how little control I had over my emotions. And here's the kicker: people don't respect someone who can't govern their own feelings. Think about it. Who do we admire? It's the person who stays calm under pressure, who can take criticism without falling apart, who can handle stress without letting it consume them. That's strength, that's control. But when you're emotionally reactive, you send the opposite message. You're telling the world that your emotions are in charge, not your rational mind. And people will instinctively distance themselves from you because they know one wrong word or a minor inconvenience could set you off. Emotional reactivity doesn't show passion or strength, it shows insecurity. When you're quick to anger, quick to tears, or quick to any extreme emotional response, it's usually because you're trying to protect something fragile inside, whether it's your ego, your self-image, or fear of being hurt. But here's a tough truth: no one respects fragility when it shows up as overreaction. In fact, they'll start seeing you as a burden, someone they have to tiptoe around, rather than someone they can rely on. I once worked with someone who was the textbook definition of emotionally reactive. In meetings, if someone didn't agree with her idea, she'd either lash out defensively or shut down completely. It was like walking on eggshells around her. As a result, people stopped involving her in important conversations. They didn't trust her to handle feedback maturely. The sad part, she was smart and talented, but her emotional instability overshadowed all of that. Here's the truth: being emotionally reactive makes you look weak, not strong. You might think you're showing people how passionate you are, but all they're seeing is a lack of self-control. And no one respects someone who can't control themselves. In fact, they'll start to pity you. Think about the times you've seen someone lose it, yelling, crying, throwing things. Did you respect them in that moment? Probably not. You likely felt embarrassed for them, even if you didn't say it out loud. That's what you're risking when you let your emotions take the wheel. But let's dig deeper. Why are we so emotionally reactive? Most of the time it's because we feel threatened, our egos bruised, or we feel like we're losing control of a situation. So we lash out to regain that sense of power. But true power isn't found in an emotional outburst. It's found in maintaining your composure when everything around you is falling apart. When you can stay calm under pressure, when you can take criticism without breaking down, that's when people see you as strong. That's when respect starts to form. The Stoics were masters of emotional control. They believed that while we can't always control what happens around us, we can always control how we respond. And that's the key. Your response is your power. You can choose to react emotionally, or you can choose to stay grounded. When you choose to stay grounded, you gain respect, and more than that, you gain control of the situation itself. Because when you're calm, you think clearly. You make better decisions. You don't say things you'll regret later, and you don't burn bridges. You maintain your dignity. There's a personal moment I'll never forget. I was in a heated argument with a close friend. Things were escalating quickly, and I was on the verge of losing it, but something inside me clicked. I realized that if I let my emotions take over, I'd ruin that friendship for good. So I took a deep breath, stepped back, and calmed down. I didn't shout. I didn't retaliate. I listened. And because of that, we were able to have a real conversation and resolve the issue. If I had reacted emotionally, I would have lost someone important in my life. Respect isn't something you can demand. It's something you earn by living with integrity and self-discipline. These toxic habits, taking credit for others' work, being emotionally reactive, slowly erode respect over time. You might wake up one day, wonder why people don't take you seriously. It doesn't matter how talented or smart you are, if you're constantly making excuses, being lazy, or losing control of your emotions, you undermine yourself. Think about the people you admire. They're not perfect, but they're consistent. They're responsible. They don't crumble under pressure or blame others when things go wrong. If you want respect, start by respecting yourself enough to get rid of the habits that are holding you back. Silence is the key to unlocking your most extraordinary dreams, acting as a portal to a life beyond your wildest imagination. In this very moment, you possess the power to completely transform your existence. It all begins by stepping into the quiet space within you. Consider how often you truly allow yourself to be silent. In our constantly noisy world, we are bombarded with information, opinions, and distractions. Our minds endlessly chatter, rehashing the past and worrying about the future. This noise disconnects us from our true selves and our infinite potential. Embracing silence creates something magical. You tap into a wellspring of creativity, wisdom, and power that has always been within you, waiting to be noticed. It's like turning down the volume on a radio and finally hearing the beautiful song playing softly in the background all along. In silence, you begin to hear your inner voice, not the critical one that doubts and judges, but the wise, loving voice that knows your true worth. This voice has been guiding you your entire life, but it has been drowned out by the world's noise and your busy thoughts. As you practice being silent, you'll notice changes within yourself. Your mind becomes clearer, like a still lake reflecting the sky. Solutions to problems that once seemed impossible start to appear, and ideas and inspiration flow effortlessly. You experience a sense of peace and contentment that is not dependent on external circumstances. The most exciting part is that these changes don't stop within you. As you cultivate inner silence, the world around you begins to shift. Opportunities start appearing out of nowhere, the right people show up in your life at just the right time, and things that used to frustrate you now roll off your back. You find yourself in a state of flow, where life unfolds with ease and grace. This is not just wishful thinking or new age fluff. It's supported by cutting-edge research in neuroscience and quantum physics. When you quiet your mind through meditation and mindfulness, you literally change the structure and function of your brain, creating new neural pathways that support positivity, creativity, and resilience. At the quantum level, your thoughts and emotions send out vibrations that interact with the energy field around you. In a state of inner turmoil, you broadcast static. But when you cultivate inner silence, you become a clear channel, able to receive and transmit on a much higher frequency. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you're stuck in negative thought patterns and emotional reactivity, you're tuned into a station playing nothing but problems and limitations. But by accessing that quiet space within, you start picking up a new frequency, one of infinite possibilities and abundance. The amazing thing is, you don't have to force this change. You don't need to struggle or push. All you need to do is get out of your own way and allow the natural intelligence of your body and mind to work its magic. Silence is the doorway to this state of allowing. I understand some of you might be thinking, this sounds great, but my life is chaotic. I don't have time to sit in silence. We all have busy lives filled with demands and responsibilities. But here's the thing. You don't need hours of uninterrupted quiet to start this journey. Even a few minutes a day can make a significant impact. Begin small. Set aside just 5 minutes each morning to sit in silence before your day begins. Close your eyes, focus on your breath, and simply observe your thoughts without engaging with them. If your mind wanders, gently bring your attention back to your breath. No special techniques or complicated rituals are required. As you make this a daily habit, accessing that inner quiet space will become easier, even during a hectic day. You'll develop the ability to pause and center yourself before reacting to stressful situations, making decisions from a place of clarity rather than confusion. Over time, you might extend your silent time to 15 minutes or even an hour. However, don't worry about the quantity. It's the quality of your attention that matters most. 5 minutes of true presence is far more powerful than an hour of distracted meditation. Now, let's explore what happens when you consistently practice accessing this silent space within you. You start to experience what I call coherence, a state where your thoughts, emotions, and physical body are all in alignment. This is when real magic begins. In coherence, you become a magnet for positive experiences and opportunities. It's as if the universe conspires to bring you exactly what you need. You might call it coincidence or luck, but it's the result of tuning into a higher frequency of possibilities. You'll notice synchronicities everywhere. Thinking of an old friend, and they call you, or having an idea for a business and suddenly meeting someone with the skills and resources you need. These aren't random. They result from engaging with the infinite field of potential around us all. As you continue this practice, you'll naturally let go of old limiting beliefs and behaviors. Emotional triggers will lose their power. You'll stop feeling like a victim of circumstances and start recognizing your role as a creator of your reality. Your relationships will improve as you bring more presence and compassion to your interactions, communicating more clearly and listening more deeply. People will be drawn to your calm, centered energy, and you'll find yourself surrounded by positive, supportive individuals who uplift and inspire you. Your physical health is likely to improve as well. Stress contributes to many illnesses, and by cultivating inner silence, you give your body a chance to relax and heal. Chronic conditions may ease, energy levels increase, and a sense of vitality pervades your life. Your work life will transform as you bring this coherent state into your career or business. You'll make decisions from a place of inspiration rather than fear, with creative solutions arising effortlessly. Productivity will increase without burnout, and success will come from inspired action aligned with your true purpose. Financial abundance often follows naturally from this state of coherence. When you no longer operate from a place of lack and scarcity, you open yourself to the flow of prosperity. Money becomes a tool for expressing your gifts and living your purpose, rather than a source of stress and worry. Perhaps the most profound change is a deep sense of connection to yourself, to others, and to the world around you. In silence, you tap into the underlying unity of all things, realizing you are not separate from the universe, but an integral part of it. This understanding brings profound peace and purpose to your life. However, this doesn't mean your life will suddenly become perfect, or that you'll never face challenges again. Life will still have its ups and downs, but you'll navigate these challenges from a completely different perspective. Instead of being knocked off course by obstacles, you'll see difficulties as opportunities for growth and learning. You'll develop what I call emotional elegance, the ability to experience your feelings fully without being controlled by them. You'll discover that you no longer feel the need to suppress or avoid negative emotions. Instead, you'll welcome all experiences as valuable sources of information, recognizing that even painful feelings carry important lessons. As you continue practicing silence, your intuition will sharpen. You'll learn to trust that inner guidance leading you toward your highest good. Decision-making becomes easier. You won't second-guess yourself or seek constant validation from others. With a sense of confidence and trust in your journey, life unfolds with clarity. One of the most beautiful aspects of this journey is its ripple effect. As you become more centered and peaceful, you naturally bring a calming influence to those around you. Without saying a word, your presence can soothe intense situations or uplift those who are struggling. You embody the power of inner silence through your example. This doesn't mean you'll never speak up or take action. On the contrary, when you do choose to act, your words and deeds will carry profound impact. They'll stem from inner clarity and alignment, rather than reactive impulses or ego-driven motives. You'll discern when to speak and when to remain silent, when to act and when to wait. As you progress, you may feel compelled to share your journey with others, not in a preachy manner, but by simply living as an example and being open to those curious about your transformation. You might find yourself mentoring, leading workshops, or expressing your insights through art. Remember, this journey isn't about reaching a final destination or achieving permanent bliss. It's an ongoing process of growth and expansion. There will be times when you forget to practice silence or get caught up in life's drama. That's okay. The key is to consistently return to that quiet space within you. Each time you do, you strengthen the neural pathways of peace and presence, reinforcing your connection to infinite possibilities and reminding yourself of your true essence beyond the noise and chaos. As silence becomes a consistent part of your life, you'll notice it becoming your natural state. Even amidst activity, you'll carry that inner quiet with you, grounding yourself in your true self while fully engaging with the world. This is when life truly becomes magical. Instead of struggling against the current, you'll flow with life, co-creating your reality in harmony with the universe. You'll live in what some call the zone or the flow state, a place of effortless accomplishment and joyful expression. In this state, you'll find that you no longer need to chase after what you want in life. Instead, it naturally comes to you. The universe seems to hear your true desires clearly, because you've cleared away mental and emotional static that once interfered with the signal. Moreover, you'll discover that many things you once pursued were attempts to fill inner voids or quiet restlessness. As you find contentment within yourself, your desires may shift. You'll prioritize experiences that bring genuine fulfillment and growth over accumulating material possessions. Your definition of success will evolve, focusing on inner peace, positive impact, and the quality of your moments rather than external markers. This doesn't mean you'll become passive or stop pursuing goals. On the contrary, you may achieve more than ever, driven by inspired creativity and purpose, rather than fear or the need for validation. You'll find satisfaction in simply being present and grateful for each unfolding moment. As you delve deeper into your practice of silence, you'll uncover layers of yourself that have remained undiscovered. Dormant talents and abilities will emerge, sparked by the right conditions. You might surprise yourself with sudden bursts of creativity and insights, seemingly arriving out of nowhere. This is your true essence, breaking free from conditioned thinking and societal norms. In silence, you create the space for your authentic self to shine. You'll naturally gravitate towards activities and relationships that resonate with your deepest values and passions. One of the most profound gifts of this practice is the ability to fully inhabit each moment. Instead of dwelling on the past or fretting about the future, you'll find yourself fully engaged with the richness of the present. This heightened presence brings an awareness of the beauty and details in the world around you. Vivid colors, moving music, and delicious food become more pronounced. You'll discover wonder in simple things like a sunset or a child's laughter. This awareness extends to your relationships as well. You'll become attuned to subtle cues in body language and tone, deepening your connections with others. As your practice matures, you may encounter moments of profound insight or awakening experiences. These moments lift the veil of separation, revealing the interconnectedness of all existence. While these experiences can be powerful, their true impact lies in how you integrate them into your daily life. Your sense of identity shifts from viewing yourself as a separate individual navigating life to recognizing yourself as an expression of universal consciousness. This expanded perspective naturally leads to choices that benefit not just yourself, but the broader community and planet. You'll feel a responsibility for the well-being of others and the environment, driven not by obligation, but by a deep understanding of interconnectedness. Even if your external circumstances remain unchanged, your presence in roles such as parent, partner, friend, or colleague will undergo a transformation. You'll bring a quality of presence, compassion, and clarity to everything you do. Silence, you'll come to realize, is not merely the absence of noise, but a profound presence in itself, the very ground of all creation. By tapping into this silence, you connect with the source of life and draw strength and resilience from it. This inner stability enables you to remain calm and clear-headed amidst life's challenges. Your need for external validation diminishes as you cultivate self-acceptance and worthiness from within. This inner confidence allows you to set healthy boundaries and make choices aligned with your true values and purpose, rather than seeking approval or fitting into others' expectations. As you continue on this journey, silence becomes not just a practice, but a way of being, an anchor in the midst of life's currents, guiding you to live authentically and purposefully. Embrace the journey of silence, and you'll naturally draw towards you the right people and opportunities that resonate with your authentic self. Doors will open in surprising and seemingly miraculous ways, aligning with your deepest aspirations. Remember, this path of silence is not about reaching a final destination, but about continuous unfolding and discovery. Each day presents new opportunities to deepen your practice and expand your awareness. The beauty of this path lies in its accessibility to everyone, regardless of circumstances or background. You don't need special equipment or expensive retreats, just the willingness to turn inward and listen to the wisdom of your own being. So I encourage you to begin now. Take a deep breath. Allow yourself to become still and feel the aliveness within your body. Notice the thoughts passing through your mind without becoming entangled in them. This is the starting point of your journey into silence. Be gentle with yourself as you progress. There may be challenges and old patterns that resurface, and that's perfectly okay. Each time you return to silence, you strengthen your ability to stay centered and present. Know that you're not alone on this journey. As you cultivate inner silence, you'll naturally connect with others who are on a similar path, fostering a sense of community and support that transcends superficial differences. Your authenticity and presence are not just transforming your own life, but also contributing to the evolution of human consciousness. Take this moment to commit to making silence a regular part of your life. Start small, if needed, but take that first step today. The quiet space within you holds everything you've ever desired: peace, joy, fulfillment, and purpose beyond imagination. Trust in the process and trust in yourself. The journey to an extraordinary life begins now, in this moment of quiet presence. Close your eyes, take that deep breath, and allow yourself to sink into the silent space within you. Feel the aliveness, the potential, and the infinite possibilities that exist right now. This is your true home, your source of strength and inspiration. From this place of inner silence, you have the power to transform your life profoundly. You can heal old wounds, create masterpieces, build empires, or simply live each day with profound joy and gratitude. The choice is yours, and the power is within you. In silence, you will discover everything you need in life. It's already within you, waiting to be noticed. As you continue to cultivate this inner silence, you'll notice a profound shift in how you perceive and engage with the world. The incessant chatter of the mind begins to quiet, allowing a deeper, more intuitive wisdom to emerge. This wisdom sees beyond the surface of things, revealing patterns and connections that were always present but hidden from conscious awareness. Solutions to challenges will arise spontaneously, often when you least expect it. By creating space in your mind through silence, you allow the universe to fill it with exactly what you need. This process of silent listening and intuitive knowing becomes a powerful ally in navigating life's complexities with clarity and grace. This shift in perception also applies to how you perceive yourself. The habitual self-criticism and judgment that many carry begin to fade away, replaced by a profound sense of self-acceptance and love. You start to see yourself as you truly are, a unique expression of life itself, complete in your imperfections. As this self-acceptance deepens, embracing all aspects of yourself becomes easier, including those parts you once sought to conceal or change. You come to understand that your quirks, struggles, and perceived flaws are integral to your uniqueness. This acceptance becomes a catalyst for healing and personal growth. You may notice old emotional wounds healing spontaneously, as the light of your non-judgmental awareness naturally dissolves past pain and trauma. This newfound sense of lightness and freedom allows you to release emotional baggage you hadn't realized you were carrying. This inner healing extends outward, transforming your relationships. With greater self-acceptance comes a natural acceptance of others. Judgment diminishes, replaced by deeper understanding and compassion. Your communication shifts from ego-driven or defensive to clear and truthful. You speak authentically, without attachment to how your words are received, fostering deeper and more meaningful connections. Continuing your practice of silence enhances your sensitivity to energy, your own, others, and that of your environment. You become attuned to how certain people or places affect your energy field, empowering you to make choices that nurture your well-being and maintain a high vibrational state. Your intuition becomes a reliable guide, guiding you effortlessly toward choices that serve your highest good. In essence, as you deepen your practice of silence, you naturally align with a more authentic and intuitive way of living, fostering healing, growth, and harmonious connections in all aspects of your life. It's like tapping into a deeper intelligence that intuitively knows the right path. This heightened intuition goes beyond personal matters. You might experience flashes of insight regarding global events or the evolution of humanity. You might even sense a purpose that transcends your individual life. Those who begin this journey often discover a calling to contribute to the greater good of humanity and the planet. As your practice deepens, You may encounter altered states of consciousness, ranging from deep meditative states to profound mystical experiences. While these experiences can be powerful and transformative, their real value lies in how you integrate these insights into your daily life. Your relationship with time may shift as well. Instead of feeling rushed or constantly behind, you'll develop a sense of timelessness. You'll be fully present in each moment while also aware of the larger flow of life, allowing you to move through your days with grace and ease, accomplishing what needs to be done without stress. Creativity flourishes in ways you may never have imagined. Whether or not you consider yourself an artist, you'll find new ideas and inspirations flowing through you. This creativity may manifest in traditional art forms, innovative solutions at work, or fresh approaches to daily tasks. You'll begin to appreciate the artistry in all aspects of life. As you become more attuned to the silence within, you'll also notice the silence in the world around you. You'll be drawn to spend time in nature, absorbing the quiet wisdom of trees, mountains, or the ocean. These natural experiences will deepen your connection to all life. Synchronicities may become more frequent in your life, meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. This signals that you're in harmony with the flow of life and the greater intelligence of the universe. Your health and vitality may improve as well. The deep relaxation of silence allows your body to heal and regenerate at a cellular level, potentially resolving chronic health issues and increasing your overall energy and resilience. Your relationship with challenge and adversity will evolve. Rather than seeing difficulties as problems to solve or avoid, you'll view them as opportunities for growth and evolution. You'll face life's ups and downs with equanimity, knowing that each experience contributes to your journey of awakening. As you access this inner silence more deeply, you'll find yourself needing less from the external world to feel fulfilled. The peace and contentment you discover within are more satisfying than any material possession or achievement. This doesn't mean you stop enjoying life's pleasures, but rather that you're no longer dependent on them for your happiness. You may feel compelled to simplify your life, decluttering physical space, streamlining commitments, or letting go of relationships that no longer serve your highest good. This simplification creates more room for what truly matters to you. Your sense of identity will expand as you feel less attached to labels and roles. You'll recognize them as useful tools rather than defining factors of who you are. This expanded self-awareness brings a profound sense of freedom. You're no longer constrained by societal expectations or limiting beliefs. You may find yourself naturally drawn to share what you've learned with others, through teaching, mentoring, or simply by being a living example of the peace and presence you've cultivated. Each day offers new opportunities to deepen your practice, expand your awareness, and embody more fully the truth of who you are. While challenges may arise, they are part of the journey. Each time you return to your practice, you strengthen your ability to remain centered and present, regardless of external circumstances. Silence isn't just a practice or a state of mind. It becomes the foundation from which you live your life, guiding your actions and interactions. In silence, you discover everything you've ever sought: peace, love, fulfillment, and purpose. It's already within you, waiting to be uncovered. Trust in this process. Trust in yourself. The journey to an extraordinary life is unfolding right now, in this moment of silence.